What do you do as a teenager?
I go shopping and buy some clothes and some new shoes. I go out with my friends. I sometimes go to the park. I go on my phone. I go on my laptop. I go on Facebook. I listen to music.
What do you do in your spare time?
I spend a lot of my time out in the park and up the fells, just with my friends. I do a lot of extra activity clubs like dancing, playing football, and I like taking my little brother who's 5 to trampoline and his little clubs, and I often take him to the park. With my older brothers, we all kind of go, and you always see a huge age range of people who are there, young people, nursery age, to teenagers, to adults who are taking the children there, so it's a nice kind of place to be. And then a lot of young children and young people, boys a lot, they play football on courts and 5-a-side and 7-a-side, and going to the riverside down Chesley Street and things like that, to go with their friends, where they can go, where they don't get in trouble off the police or anything like that. A lot of my friends are very competitive dancers and going to competitions and on their weekends and training on nights after school and things like that. So there's a huge variety of activities, structured activities that are planned, and then things that you just go out and do with your friends sort of.
What kind of things did you do when you were young?
By young, do you mean when I was a teenager or younger than a teenager? I used to play a lot of football. I mean, apart from when I was in school, play a lot of football. Used to play football in the street. Used to be loads of us. Played football in the street. Hung about with my mates. Got moved on with the police. That happened quite a lot. I used to go and watch football. What else did I do? I don't know. Tried to hang about with girls, but wasn't very good at that. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
So, what did you used to do when you were a teenager?
I used to help in the garden. My father used to go out to the allotment and dig the garden. I used to go dancing. Well, I used to watch that. I couldn't dance, so I used to go and watch the dancing. I used to travel up to Southampton. Then every fortnight we used to go through to Hartlepool and do the dances there. Well, the hired bus used to take us through. We used to go to the cinema at Hetton Imperial and the Cosy, the Lane. And what was it? Fountains, I think, fountains to get in, and that was upstairs. And a packet of sweets, or something like that.
Penny.
Do you ever feel intimidated by youth?
No, I've got a son who's 15, so I'm quite used to dealing with teenagers. So I know all the moods and the ups and downs. So no, you've just got to give them a chance. Yeah.
Has anything ever happened to make you feel negative about youth?
No, I do see them hang around in groups, but the fact is there's not a lot for them to do, so they get together to have a laugh.
Do you think that youth today has changed from when you were a teenager?
No, I don't. I think we did exactly the same type of things. We hung around in groups and did exactly the same, and you're doing exactly the same as we did.
So what do you think about young people and how they're accepted in their community?
I think that adults like us and help us when we're in situations.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of people around Denise, that's in the community centre, she if you need any problems, you can come straight to her. But there's like street wardens going around, so if you need any help, you go to them as well. And they're just there to help you and keep you out of danger and mischief and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you think it's any different for people who are a little bit older than you?
No,
No, I think it's just
the same.
Everybody's accepted this. Like
Everybody's the same in the same
everybody's-
community.
Okay. So what do you think about young people and how they're accepted in their community?
Well, sometimes when like they go out and drinking, they like when they drink outside their like parents' houses, they normally go mad. But like there's a skate park over there, and they just normally hang around over there. So basically, they're not getting into mischief and into trouble. But sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
How do you think people in the community react to that?
Well, if they are being good at the skateboard park, they like think, oh, they're nice children. But if they're out drinking in front of their houses, they're like, oh, how selfish of them. Like, just wasn't very nice, really.
I think in society, young people are viewed as a bit of a threat. They're not really part of the established order of society. We're not necessarily part of the community. Obviously, there are restrictions by law which are sensible and that we have to follow. You know, you have to be 16 to do this, you have to be 18 to do that, and it puts in a clear divide between adults and young people. And I know that has to be there for law and for society to run in an order, but I think that young people are viewed as a very separate entity from the rest of society, and I don't think that's right. But more and more with organisations like Investing in Children, that's helping the two groups to merge and to go across the divide and to actually help young people become equal members of the community, and for people to actually recognise that we have a voice. I think, like I've said more and more in the media, we get these horror stories about young people, you know, like gangs of hoodies attacking vulnerable people, and of course that does happen. But I think what we have to try and not forget, what's particularly important, is that this is just a minority spoiling it for the majority. There are those young people who think that it's clever to, you know, to drink and roam the streets and intimidate people, and it's just not right. But it's equally not right that people should tarnish all young people with the same brush. We're not all like that. There may be a select few who spoil it for the majority, but that shouldn't be the case.
So what do you think about how young people are shown in the media, like the newspapers and on the TV? Do you agree with it?
No, I don't, because like people are in the newspaper for like ganging up, but they might be like hanging around with other people who like they want to be in a gang, but they actually just hang around with them because they want to be friends. Or like it doesn't mean if you hang around with a group of people you're in a gang. It's just like, so basically when you're in a group of gang, what would you rather be? Would you rather be by yourself or in a group of gang to keep yourself safe?
So what do you think about how young people are seen in the newspapers and on the TV?
They're seen as intelligent little children. No, not little. Like the intelligent kids.
Some rumours happen on TV and newspapers, so you can't always trust what is in the newspaper and on the TV. So some people are like said to be what they're not actually.
Can you think of some examples?
Some people are on the telly, they're made out to be like horrible big gangs and stuff like that, but they're actually
No.
they might wear hoodies and have the hoods up and stuff, but doesn't mean that they're like horrible or they do.
Might just wear hoods up because it might be raining.
It might not even be raining. It might just be anything really.
So what do you think about how young people are portrayed in the media?
Well, you don't hear any good stuff. Like with the young people, it's like linked. Everything's linked. Like I said,
of how they feel in the community to the media.
It's like, I don't know, with everything that's going on, like with the riots, it was always focused on the young people saying what they've done wrong and what they've done against the law and all that. And I don't know, you just don't see anything good what young people do these days. Like for one bad young person, there could be hundreds and hundreds of good things that young people do, and you don't hear it.
You don't catch the good, positive stuff what young people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it needs to be readdressed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And promote the good things young people do instead of portraying the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the images of young people in the media?
I think by and large the media promote the idea that young people are a problem, that young people hang about and get into trouble and make life difficult for everybody else. And I don't think there's any evidence for that. I don't think that where I live in Newcastle, there's a big crowd of mostly Pakistani kids who play cricket just outside my house, and that's all they're doing, they're just playing cricket. And there's somebody who lives quite close is always phoning the police and complaining about it. Whenever the police come, I always go out and say they're not doing any harm, they're just playing cricket. I mean, it's just like, but that's not what people believe. So I think the media pick up on that, and they stir the pot and they get young people a bad name, but it's not fair and it's not right.
How are